want to say a quick hello, guys. I've got some good news. Okay, I've got some very good news regarding games stuff. Okay, because I've been, as you know, I've been making. I'm working very hard on making animation and cartoons, but on the side, I'm trying to make some games too. Now, recently I made a video showcasing my simple test game I made based on my based on one of my animated cartoons with my superhero crazy character called Azzybanger. And I showed you in a recent video that there's a game I've created, a first rough game, you know, as a kind of like a practice thing, test thing, but it's an Azzybanger game, and I was actually really upset because I lost the sound for that. Well, I was able to work out the problem, and I want to let people know, okay, before the game will be available, that problem will be fixed. All the sound is basically, I've got all the sound back, basically. I've got the sound back. So if anybody is interested in getting that game, just let me know, okay? It's free and everything. All of my games are free. The ones I'm going to mention right now especially are free. But the Azzybanger game, which is Azzybanger versus Captain Death and his goons, it's going to be fine with the sound and everything too. Other games which are available are my first ever game, which is called Rise of the Wolf. Oh, by the way, let me just mention briefly what these games are. Please excuse me. All of these games are available for the PC, okay, for the laptop, PC or laptop, you know, PC, computer, Windows operating systems, Windows, okay. The Azzybanger game is like a side-scrolling beat 'em up, if you will. You just walk, side-scrolling platform slash fighting game, beat 'em up. For my first ever game, Rise of the Wolf. That's more like an RPG thing with like martial arts stuff in there. You'll see what I mean. Action. It's an RPG. Another game that I've created is like just a 3D, more of like a 3D picking up collectibles, items, exploration 3D game, and that's Senku Ryu Dog Shit Collector. Senku Ryu, which is a style of karate, a rare style of karate. Dog Shit Collector, yes, you heard me right. It's basically featuring a good friend of mine, Demsley, in the game and in his voice, and I made the game to honour him and everything he stands for, but it's a fun game. It's a 3D game. That's the only game that's actually truly got 3D in it. Controllable stuff. Another game. So that's those games, okay. So you got Azzybanger, the Azzybanger game, and you got Rise of the Wolf and the Dog Shit Collector game. The other one, The other one is I made two other rough games in the past. I made Stuck in the Dark, which I'm very sorry, but it's unavailable currently. I'll just say that. Seems to be unretrievable. But it was a good game, Stuck in the Dark. A horror 3D art, but like point and click, one of those type ones, or clicking. So Stuck in the Dark. It's not available currently. I should be able to salvage and retrieve another game of mine, which is called the Wushu Richard Experience. So based on me, Wushu Richard, the Wushu Richard Experience. All it was a practice test at making some kind of, please excuse me, but some crazy AI version of myself, like a virtual version of myself where you talk to me and I've got shades on, like the Matrix. A bit of fun, and it's like you can ask, he asks you questions, you can ask him questions and talk back and forth. And he's got text, he's got my audio, my voice in there too. That's a little experimental project, little thing I did. So that may be retrievable if I can find the links. Very sad about losing Stuck in the Dark though. But games which are available are the Azibanger game, which is the most recent, and the one before it, which is Sankubu Dogshit Collector, my first ever game to Rise of the Wolf, the RPG, and also another. As I said, that's like again one of these visual novel type games. I like to do these kind of games, as well. Yeah, but and there's another game, which is a test. Again, little small, one of these small demo type test games, which a lot of these are like. And it was based, it's kind of like in a Zelda format. So if anyone's a fan of Zelda, I just made that today. It's a game that's like Zelda, like it's a very, very small, tiny little demo game. One of these ones, but it's the name is just called Castle. Okay, Castle Demo, and it's basically just a test or a demo, literally a demonstration of what can be done. It's like a test I made for myself. So interactive text on the screen, images, and a character which you control with various different camera angles. It's all 2D, of course, but 3D art in the background. 2D drawn characters, 2D movement, 3D looking scenery, like screenshots of 3D. Various characters in there. It's like just to show what another kind of RPG would be like in the style of kind of like Zelda, that kind of thing. Just trying to practice. I'm just trying to test myself because I'm like learning how to use these game softwares. Games making softwares that I'm using, by the way. I've got six free games softwares, which are all very simple, but I would highly recommend people getting and learning to use. Okay, are Ren'Py, that's RENPY, and Novelty. Ren'Py and Novelty, those two games making softwares, game engines, are for making visual novel based type games. Copper Cube, which is it's a free software which doesn't require any scripting or coding. Now the ones I just mentioned to you do actually need a little bit of coding. It's not too much because I can't stand coding and all that stuff anyway. Yeah, but as I say with that, with a Copper Cube, you don't need any coding for that. It's simple to do, and you can make 3D. Okay, good stuff. 3D looking games, 3D games, actual 3D, and you can have 2D stuff in there as well, and all that stuff. Like a point and click and all that stuff. Another one. Just trying to think now. Bear with me. AGS. That's Adventure Game Studio. That's good because you can have like not 3D, but you can have a lot of different things in there. You can feature video files too, which also can Ren'Py, but I'm just saying, kind of video in there and audio and all that. Text, you can have 2D, various kinds of 2D movement. You can have a character animated with frames and animation in scenes, and do some simple animation, and have and then you can make visual novel type games too. So Adventure Game Studio is good. And then the other two are GDevelop, which is for a free open source software for making games. You can do 2D and some simple 3D, I do believe, but I'm still learning that. It's kind of awkward. I'm still learning it. And another one which I've got, which is a free version of Construct. Now there's Construct 1, 2 and 3. Excuse me, it's late here, but there's Construct 1, 2 and 3. But Construct is a good games software. I've got one of a version of the old original one, and it's called Construct Classic. And I like it because it's free, and it's free to actually export your games as a Windows standalone game. You can put it on your computer and save it. Whereas in the later versions, like Construct 2 and Construct 3, they're expecting you to pay, things like that, for the pro stuff and all that. But, if you just want to just save a game onto your computer, any of these softwares I've just mentioned are really good for doing that, okay? So Ren'Py, which is RENPY, Novelty, AGS, which is Adventure Game Studio, Copper Cube, GDevelop, and Construct, or Construct Classic. I've got Construct Classic. I don't know if there's a difference or if it's the same thing under the same name. That's the original. You have to try and get that as a real good one. That's the best one. I think it is. It depends. I mean, you can do good 3D stuff with Copper Cube. Ren'Py is one of my favourites too, but Adventure Game Studios too, they're all good. I mean, I've got to learn about Novelty. I need to learn about GDevelop too. GDevelop's got a nice layout to it, but there's something about it I still need to learn because it's like you to connect to the internet and different things. I don't know. I'm not too sure. But look, these are really good softwares, alright. But you know, Copper Cube's good. 3D. As I say, I know I'm repeating myself over and over here, but you know, yeah, most of this stuff you don't even need any programming skills or anything, especially for Construct Classic, and you can just save your games to the PC. Now, for making games like assets for games, like making games like from scratch, if you want some nice art, you know, even if you're doing 2D games, which I'm doing, which I like 2D anyway, but it's like, you know, you can get really creative, but it depends if you're a good artist, whether you're doing art on paper, any kind of art. It could be good, detailed, or simple. Do some art on paper. Excuse me. Take photos or scan them into the computer some way, and then work them even further. Or you can use photos, you know, video frames even, and use those as animation frames. Limiting them obviously, but you know, you can but you know, you can do your art on the computer. I do my art on the computer. I have a pad and I also have a screen of two different things and pens for that, and it's really good. So if you can get one, you don't have to get the most expensive stuff. You just get some good enough to use good equipment. As for software, there's a lot of good free art softwares out there now. Two of my free art softwares, two that I can highly recommend, are Krita, which is Krita, and Fire Alpaca, Fire Alpaca, Alpaca. So Fire Alpaca and Krita, Krita. Those are very good softwares for doing art and 2D animation, frame animation. There are other animation softwares such as OpenToons, what I've got too, and there's a lot of various other ones. I can take you through a lot of different softwares. You know, I use video editing softwares like HitFilm. I use FL Studio to make the music. I do it all myself, you know, just from my imagination. I'm not great, but I just do what I can, you know. Okay. Obviously, if you use Photoshop for art, you can use Photoshop, you know. But I'm just saying, free alternatives for art softwares. I would definitely recommend things like a Fire Alpaca and Krita. There's a massive list of art softwares out there, you know, Clip Studio, Paint, or which used to be like Manga Studio. For animation, again, you can use Anime Studio. There's another software called Anime Effects, not FX, but Effects. Anime Effects, I've got that, which is good. Various softwares you can use for doing art and animation, all kinds of good stuff. Simple programs like Paint.net, Artweaver. There are a lot of art softwares out there that you can actually look into and start practicing with, okay? And even just practicing with some online stuff. SketchUp is good for 3D stuff, setting up some 3D scenery, and you can draw over that too. But you can make some simple 3D stuff. Even if you're not a good artist, maybe you can like go into SketchUp and try and make some 3D stuff. But I think like the free version is not available. It seems to be now that you've got to go online for that, and you're not even able to upload and download models and stuff. But then again, you could use something like Blender, which is like takes a huge learning curve. It's hard for me to learn it even. Other 3D softwares like that. And then, you know, obviously they're the Unreal Engine software and that. I've got one called NeoAxis. I've got another one called Rocket 3F. And then for characters and stuff, 3D, you can use something like Poser or Daz, which is a free alternative to that. Free alternatives. Good websites for 3D stuff, by the way, too, are Mixamo.com. Look at that. It's good for creating characters. There's another one too called, what's that called? Character, I forgot now, I'll have to let you know at some stage. Autodesk something, character design, I forgot what it's called now, but that's a good one. add-ons for Blender, like the Bastioni, Manuel Bastioni, softwares like Make Human, another good app, free app, simple or demo version called Design Doll. Okay, Design Doll's a good one. There's quite a few out there. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, another website, another free website, which with lots of free models on there, good models. Is called is as I say, yeah, it's called Sketchfab. Sketchfab. Look that up as well. Okay. By the way, you can do comics as well. You know, you can do comics in Fire Alpaca if you like to make comics and comic strips. As well as Manga Studio, which is now called, Clip Studio Paint. In fact, they've had both of these names for a long time. And again, Krita and that, different ways of doing comics. I'm going to make more videos on that. I want to make some more comics and comic strips myself. I'm really big into animation. I love doing my art and animation, drawing and painting, but I like to do animation. I do my art on the computer, as I say. I like to practice. I'm not great, but I like to practice. I'm inspired by anime and a lot of good artists and concept artists and stuff. And there's so much stuff you can do. I've just forgotten what I was going to say to you. It's very late. It's just gone 2 o'clock in the morning now, so I need to get ready to go to bed after another drink of my tea, and I'm going to go to bed. I need to wake up early tomorrow, but I had to get this video out to tell you what's going on because I've got these games coming out, Got Castle demo, if you want to check that out as well, as I say. But yeah, again, if you're not really that artistic, if you're not really big into that, if you're not really so artistic in that, and you don't even want to dabble in any 3D either, then, as I was saying, there's so many things you could do. You could take photos and put them in. But there are a lot of resources online. Obviously, you have to be careful, like you don't use other people's stuff if it's like, if it's not in the, the free to use stuff, you know what I mean? You don't want to get in trouble for using other people's stuff. But if there's no limitations and if you're able to use other stuff and there's stuff out there free to use, open, you know what I mean, right? Free stuff. Then you could put together some stuff like that, get creative. But I really advise people to get artistic, I really do. I really do advise people to get artistic and practice doing some art, do some drawing. I love doing animation. I'm planning on to work on some new animated cartoons soon. I've got all kinds of cartoons on the way. It takes a lot of work in the free time, especially frame animation. But it's the technical side, and then also the imagination part, the storytelling. You've got to have a story, a script, write it out, think about it, the characters, the scenery. How are you going to do it? But then what's going to look good, and scene for scene in the script. Oh, you've got to see that in your mind. You've got to see it in your mind before you, before you actually can be making it. By the way, if anybody wants to know about any good screen recording software, you could try the demo version of Bandicam, or you could use, as I say, ShareX. I've got both. ShareX is a very good one. It's a free software without any limitation on how long you record for. There's no watermark on there. You can record the sound. You can't record a webcam unless you have another one open on another software. But it's great. You can do screenshots. You can do annotations on there, all kinds of stuff. ShareX is a good one for recording the screen. Okay, screenshots and screen recordings. It's good quality too. Yeah, there's a lot of good video softwares and animation softwares I could recommend to you. I'm not going to go through them all now. I've gone over some of the main basic ones, some good stuff, right? As I say, FL Studio, I make my music in that. There's various music softwares and stuff you can use, but that's one of the big ones. Again, there's open source. What do you call that? Oh man, what do you call that? There's free to use stuff out that you can find if you look for it. Like there's no limitations on the stuff like stock footage, video footage, and music and images and different things, even free music and stuff that you may be able to use in a game if you don't want to make your own music. But But I advise people to get creative, man. There's nothing like seeing something you've actually made yourself, you know what I mean? Totally. It's just such an amazing thing. Okay, so thanks for watching this, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. It's very late now. It's just gone 2:10 in the morning, so I'm going to go and drink my tea and go to bed. Thanks for watching. If anyone's interested in any of those games or wants links or information to any of that software, as I say, listen to the video again, but look for them yourself or let me know and I'll let you know, okay? And I'll definitely give links and stuff to where you can get these games, hopefully, like find a way of getting them to you. I'd like to make some kind of resource or some kind of website or blog or even a Wix website where you can make your own websites on Wix and stuff. Make another one of those, put links on there for downloads to the games, stuff like that. And a lot of stuff, comics I'm going to make, artwork, animation, anything like that. If anybody like to have a look, please do. I hope you enjoy everything I do, martial art videos that I make, and all of my animation stuff and the music and the chats and then the fun stuff, okay? You take care now, and take care of yourself, train hard and stay safe, as I always say. Thanks for watching always.